Everybody, welcome to this week's Star Report. This is Jason here at Dude Adventures Crystals and Reiki in downtown Burnham, Texas. And today's report is for December the 17th through December the 23rd, 2025, almost to Christmas time, winter solstice, 3 days of darkness, all the fun stuff. The sun, our closest star, which we start with, is actually quite calm. There should be some coronal hole stream, which is the compression energy, makes us feel sluggish or heavy, coming in today and then repeating over the weekend as the second wave comes through. There are no really big solar flares that are happening, so you should be feeling probably low energy, which is normal for this time of year when it gets gloomy and stuff like that. So low solar energy is contributing to that. So if you feel a little sluggish or a little depressed, pay attention to that. With the coronal hole streams, there is always a higher likelihood of earthquake. So pay attention to that if you are near places that have earthquakes. The Zodiac shifts over the week. We start in Sagittarius until Sunday, which is alchemically, physically relating to your hips and your thighs. So you might be having that last little bit of oomph, like trying to keep yourself going or keep up with the holiday schedule or plan for things that need to wind up by the end of the year. So sort of look for a little bit of fatigue, if not soreness, in those parts of the body. And then we're moving Sunday into Capricorn. And then Capricorn is really going to be the lower three vertebrae, right? So you want to think of where you sort of have that store of energy. Sometimes you want to call that Kundalini. Sometimes you want to call it the uh, stuff in the sacrum. All the stuff that sort of gives you life again, right? So it's the stuff that never really dies, right? So it's sort of your base point, your reset. And when you get to that energy, that's the kind of energy that sort of funds or gives life to creativity, right? So this is going to, in some ways, manage your hormonal structure too. So just pay attention to that energy. So you might get mood swings is a good thing, but also you might just sort of have that lower back weakness, maybe even a little lower back soreness. And of course, if we're all in the cars driving to see grandma for Christmas, you sit in the car a long time, that's going to affect that area. So just sort of pay attention. That might be a little bit more agitated. Currently in 3 retrogrades, which is good. Still in Chiron retrograde, which is really about expanding our self-worth. Are we worth all this effort? Do we have a role to play in the grand scheme of life, even if our life is this small or we only got a few people in it? It's that kind of coming to grips with it's even necessary, right? So if you've known anybody who is in choir or choir director, even though there might be hundreds in a chorus, you'll know if that one little note is off key. So even if your role is minor and you're off to the side and away from the microphones, your voice matters. So that's that kind of managing of self-worth that you should be paying attention to. Uranus is in retrograde, and that's just reinventing what it means to be human self, right? Sometimes you want to call this optimization, sometimes you human design, maximization of the physical form. That there's a lot more divinity that is creating your physical form than chemistry. So pay attention to that energy, right? So thoughts, feelings, and emotions are guiding your physical health. Always something to pay attention to during the holidays. Why do I feel this way? Oh, wait, because I'm disgruntled with how the world's working or my unhealed interactions with my extended family. So pay attention to that energy over the holidays. And then we're in Jupiter retrograde, which is really getting our career in order, about expanding it, right? So this is not staying small. This is expanding your business. This is starting a business if you don't have one. And this is really allowing abundance to flow through. And abundance could be anything like love, emotions, friendships, connections, right? So sometimes you can have an abundance of networking, but sort of be the person that glues everything else together, but might not be the one experiencing the financial abundance. But it can lead to that, right? Everybody knows it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. But sometimes that's true. And so the energy of Jupiter is really about that, right? Your career and your abundance is expanding by your belief in your self to be worth having that abundance, right? So pay attention to that. And that sort of goes into that expanding of human self, right? Like, even though you might be a small part of the machine, every part of the machine is necessary to make the machine optimized and work to its best ability. And when stuff is off, then sometimes that either the North Star gets redirected, where you start going in the wrong direction, or you start going slower, or you start to break down and not be able to move at all. So just pay attention to that. You are a part of that Jupiter energy, which leads us into today, Wednesday, December the 17th, 2025. Yay, end of the end of the Mercury retrograde post shadow. And so that's 2.5 weeks after Mercury goes direct that we sort of have those loose ends of tying up of like, is this that? Is this that? Most of the times it's around relationships and contracts. Sometimes it's that beginnings and endings, like ending a job, starting a new one kind of stuff. Just all the things like, hey, you're sort of wrapping that up. So that ends today. So if you're tired of Mercury influencing you too much with your travel and communication and relationships, then congratulations, it's over today. It's like that's how the universe works. It's just today it's over. Um, yeah. Also, Chiron and Jupiter are going to be helping you sort of live by spirit, right? So this is a belief. How you have this belief, you don't know how it's going to happen, but you're going to start following that belief rather than all the reasons that are in your head or that other people are saying why you can't do that thing. So that's the energy that Chiron and Jupiter are going to be helping with today, which leads us into tomorrow, Thursday, the 18th of December. And the Sun and Saturn are going to be readjusting you for the final micro new moon, right? So the idea that it's going to be sort of instilling in you on Thursday is consistency, not rigidity, right? So this has everything to do with habits or new habits, right? So it's better to do 5 minutes a day rather than 1 hour once a week. So it's that consistency that moves you into it. So rather than all of the effort it takes to build a habit, right? If you build a habit, then that effort goes down because it becomes a habit. That's what a habit is. So you don't have to have all that extra motivation or oomph to get started. So just sort of understand that that energy and the planets are really aligning so that the theme is consistency, not rigidity. So it's not like denigrating yourself when you miss a workout, but it's like going back the next day and continuing the workout and staying consistent rather than rigid. Yeah, always good information for health and stuff like that, right? Physical stuff, diet. Because we all do some weird diets when we're on the highway, when we're going over to other people's house that are cooking, that we don't have control of the menu, that we don't have control over the water or how much hydration we're getting or what that hydration is. Yeah. So pay attention to that. Although I've noticed a lot lately that people just bring their own stuff. Like I got an ice chest in the car because I didn't know if I was going to like what y'all had. Do what you got to do. Anyway, moves us to Friday the 19th. The micro new moon over the next 36 hours, or because it says micro for longer than 24, but you know what I mean, around Friday into Saturday ish is the micro new moon. Also on Friday, 3-eye Atlas, the out of the galaxy interstellar thing, which is why it's called interstellar or eye, right? The third interstellar object called Atlas will be as closest to Earth, right? So the energy of the day is really about newness, and that's a new you, that's a new Earth, that's a ooh. I wouldn't predict. I wouldn't even posit to look forward to some kind of disclosure or alien landing or anything like that to happen on that day. But if it does, that'd be fine. There are interdimensional beings, whether they exist only in here or in here can read what they're doing out there, wherever that might be. Yeah, 3 Atlas closest. So just sort of think about newness, right? A reboot. Because 3 Atlas came from outside of what our creation is, and then we're in this creation, and so we can be made new by new information, new energy, yada yada yada. Don't get too into it. It's gonna be fine. Friday's fine. Saturday, 12:20. The sun's gonna be squaring Neptune, and speaking of unrealistic expectations, you might be feeling a little bit delusional about, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger by January 31st. That's the kind of delusion. It's not everything's consistency and time, and your body will shape how it wants to shape. That's just an example. I'm not necessarily talking about working out. But Venus is also going to be squaring Saturn, and it's good energy for asking for raises and promotions, right? So if you want to sort of couch these two things as combining energies, right? Have an expectation that you're worth more, but don't be unrealistic in the ask, right? A lot of people might be experiencing this in, hey, my house is so great and prices are right here, so you should give me all the doll hairs for it so I can go buy the next house because everything's so expensive. This is that kind of thing. Like, hey, Don't overprice your house because nobody's going to buy it. Anyway, blah 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 blah. Is that all I have for that day? Pretty much. Oh yeah, don't overplay your hand. That was it. Sunday, the 21st, the sun into Capricorn and the winter solstice. So that's a nice quiet day. 21st is really winter solstice is the shortest day, right? So sometimes the darkest day. And so you sort of have, in general, sometimes the sun does peak above the horizon, but you're going to have the sun disappear for 3 days, right? Which is why we have uh, the crucifixion and then the 3 days and then the resurrection on the third day he was getting right. So this is the idea of the sun coming back above, right? That light always returns to the world. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so that's the winter solstice. Also, the moon's going to be opposing Jupiter. Uh, and so you're really going to be tempted or feeling the energy of resisting the rules, right? Sometimes this is tradition, sometimes this is habit, all the things. Pay attention to that. Maybe, maybe you don't need to ditch all the rules. Maybe you need to reinterpret the rules rather than dissolve them. Yeah, moves us into Monday the 22nd. Monday the 22nd. Yeah, that's right. I skipped that. I was just on Sunday, the solstice. Now I'm on Monday the 22nd. And Monday the 22nd, the moon's going to be sextiling Saturn. And really, the energy that that's going to bring is you get a handle on all of your responsibilities. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get all this done or go all the places or da, 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 da. It's all of a sudden like, here's the things I need to do or can do, or I've got all these things done. The other ones don't need to be done. I can sort of find a calmness and a relaxation, right? Relax into the 3 days of no sun. Uh, Also, the moon's going to be trining Uranus, and that's going to give you a persuasive ability, right? So persuade yourself that it's okay to leave some of your responsibilities undone and just sort of prioritize, right? So this is you getting a handle on it, right? This is not you, I did everything. This is you going, that doesn't need to be done. And then convincing yourself that, hey, I'm right. Or if you're trying to convince other people to go along with something, then you're very persuasive on with that energy in the stars on Monday. Leads us into Tuesday, last day of the report. Moon is going to be sextiling Mercury. Mercury. Um, Good for promoting yourself or your business, right? So, and that persuasiveness of Monday moves into Tuesday. And so, whatever, promoting yourself, right? Or whole idea of asking for promotion on Saturday, right? So this is like, hey, did you think about my proposal for giving me a raise? Kind of energy on Tuesday before. Uh, I'm assuming some people get off for the holidays, right? So that should be the day before Christmas Eve, where most people, churches and vacations start on Christmas Eve because you start to go to all the little services and the carolings and all the fun stuff like that. Most people start to travel on that day, or maybe they're traveling on the 23rd after work. But yeah, good for promoting yourself. Hey, here's the way we're going to go. Here's how we're going to pack. How are you promoting yourself? But also business. Like, hey, what am I going to spend time doing when we reopen after the holidays, right? Speaking of, uh, blah, blah, blah. Venus is also going to be squaring Neptune. And that energy is really just sort of pay attention that you have all the details right in travel plans, contracts, job negotiations. If you're having somebody help do your promotions, like make sure here's what I'm thinking I'm getting, and the contract says that it's not little extras or stuff like that. Just details of stuff like that. I think that's everything for the week. I think I'll probably be closing and not be open on Christmas Eve. So I might come in and do a report next week just so we have one while we're all on the holidays. But the shop probably won't be open. It's not like a whole lot of people are shopping on Christmas Eve. But if you are and you're trying to get last minute crystal gifts, probably be here by Saturday. This week, Saturday, which, what did I say? Saturday the 20th. Because I won't be open the day before Christmas for you to, I need to put a rock in the stocking. Energy. And then I know I might be open for appointments after Christmas, but I do have obligations out of town for New Year's, so I'll probably be gone. Let's see, I just had my calendar out. When is that? Yeah, so definitely I'll probably be closed the second and the third rather than just the first. So Yeah. So yeah, I might pop in there depending on travel time. I might pop in on the 31st of December for a retail day, but I might not. I might just be like, you know what? I'm hanging out and doing family stuff and enjoying the cold. Hopefully, it does get cold and it's not a hot Christmas and a hot New Year's. That would be terrible. That'd be terrible. Uh, Unless people like hot weather, then maybe it's great for you. But for me, I like it cold. I like to wear a jacket and feel like it's winter, even though I'm in South Texas. Anywho, I think that's everything. Looking at my calendar, all the details. Definitely the planets are aligning for us. Uh, Source is always working in your favor. And the time for slowdown and reflection is built into the stars. So whether you're celebrating any kind of holiday or you're enjoying your own devotion to your mind and your soul, energy is moving for that. And energy is sort of working in your favor. A lot of the Cosmos stuff is like for self promotion, rededication, and expansion, right? So I believe Jupiter is in retrograde. So we're figuring out how to expand all the way into March, I believe. So keep growing. Until next time, everybody, many blessings.